Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And you are tuned into my advice. I'm not using it. Keep balance with Dr. Marissa. The morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.3, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Podchaser, Tosan, Rumble, Tiki Live, and more. Why sunny places is because I am determined to splatter more hope and happiness. I'm on a happy 8 mission and 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. So I have topic guests and special series to that end. And it is Wednesday. We have a new every other Wednesday host. She was the every other week host on Monday. Her name is Colette Tracy, professor, coach, author of Both Sides Now, and she is my fabulous co-host to the series called Real Talk with Colette and Dr. Marissa. And today we are talking about something that I guess I'll be talking about for the rest of my life. I know I actually even started a Facebook a long time ago called Feel Great. Oh shoot, I forgot the name of it. Something like, look good and feel good naked. Because I wanted somehow to motivate myself and anybody that wanted to come along with me to feel good about how they looked naked by doing diet and exercise. And that is the topic today, diet and exercise. I've had amazing women who had Oprah's diet coach, Jen Roth, on my show 3 times. She's the best-selling author of Women, Food, and God. She's been on Oprah a lot. I don't know if she's still coaching Oprah. I've had tons of different diet coaches, exercise people, and I will, and I think will never be that I was modeling or when I looked, bony, and I enjoyed that. But I'm real about it, and I'm hoping that you enjoy my and Colette's discussion about this today, learning, growing, venting, and of course, focusing on solutions. So please welcome to my show, my Real Women Talk host, Colette Tracy.
Hi, Dr. Marissa. Hi, everybody. How are you?
I'm happy and grateful. Glad to have you here again. And
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So before we get to diet and exercise, I want us to have breakfast with no calories. And it's called the gratitude sandwich, taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich, which is a practice, a discipline. I want to impart on you every single morning can to exercise muscle of 1, looking for the good, and 2, looking for the good in yourself with appreciation. So I'll let you start. You're getting used to this drill now, I'm sure. 8 specific things that you are grateful for. I get 4. Ready? Go.
Okay. For this day.
It can be for anything. The only rule is it has to be specific, so you cannot say, I'm grateful for my friends and family. It has to be one.
How about for this day?
Oh, I thought you were doing it as a question.
No. I'm grateful that I'm alive another day. Let me put it that way. That way it's easier to understand.
Thank you. Who's on first? All right. I am grateful that the planets did not crash into each other last night, so I can live this day. To agree with you.
Okay. The sun is shining here in Chicago. Love that.
I'm grateful that it actually looks like a heaven right now. It's super cloudy, marine there, but I know that the sun is always shining somewhere.
Definitely. I am grateful for my life.
I am grateful for alarm clock.
Okay. And I am grateful for my home.
I'm grateful for this delicioso cup of coffee that I can be one with every morning. One more.
Oh, okay. I thought I did.
Oh, was that 8? Okay.
That was it. Yeah.
Then we're good. All right. So that's the top of the bun. The bottom of the bun is 4 things that you appreciate about yourself. So this is important as if we don't approve of ourselves, how the fork do we expect other people to approve of you? And it is a skill that we did not learn in school, and we probably learned opposite, how to put ourselves down, how to stop being made fun of, and at home may have been told, the majority of us who had child trauma, that we weren't good enough. So we developed this bad habit or non-useful habit of walking looking for likes, who likes me literally with social media. So I want to exercise our ability to appreciate who we are. Self-care, self-love, the foundations to happiness in your life.
Beautiful. I am celebrating my strong desire to encourage and motivate others.
Okay. So you're a good motivator.
Well, it's my desire to do that. I hope I do. I think.
You motivate. Let's own that.
Okay, I'm a good motivator.
Thank you.
And I'm good at encouraging others. Yeah,
that's 2. So that's it though. But that you're illustrating my point exactly. We think that if we toot our own horns and we actually fully adamant about our skill and abilities, that there's something, we shouldn't do that, because it's your desire. But you've been doing this a long time, Colette. You've helped a lot. You have the proof in the pudding.
I know. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yes. So you played right into my point, which I love.
Well, that's
all
good.
Right.
Okay.
I appreciate that I am affirming. And since you did too, I'll do and I appreciate that I am quick. Okay.
And I appreciate my flexibility.
I appreciate my okay with being imperfect.
And I appreciate my resilience. We talked about that yesterday for Welcome Week at the university, and loved talking to my students about all of that. And yes, I appreciate my own resilience.
Fantastic. And there we have breakfast with Dr. Marissa and Colette Tracy. Wasn't that a yummy breakfast?
Yeah.
I love starting the day in this most positive. All right. So do you teach, and where are you a professor? Of course, are you teaching?
Well, I'm teaching at National Louis University in the Chicago area. And there I'm teaching business management, leadership, marketing. I teach for several schools, but probably more emphasis right now on National Louis. But I also teach at a community college in the Chicago. It's in Cicero. It's on the southwest side of Chicago. It's called Morton College. And I also teach at another college, Benedictine. So mostly business, entrepreneurship. But I'm thrilled to be teaching more psychology-oriented courses now too. So it's great.
Yay! Did you? Yeah. Did you? I'm a retired professor.
Yeah, I think I did know that. Yeah. So where did you teach?
Boston University is where I started. It was a satellite this in Brussels, Belgium. And it was the very first time I was consulting with A&T and met the dean or director of that school, and he asked me to teach. I'm like, I don't know, I'm young, and I never aspired to it. My was professor, So I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And I did one semester of the course, Human Resource Management, I believe. And I got the second ratings of all the professors. And I said, you know what? I can't do everything. This is just not for me. And he said, I'm not allowing you to quit. You're going to take all the feedback, which was very painful to read and integrate. And he said, you're going to come back and you're going to teach semester, same course, and all of that feedback. And his name was William Salem. William Salem. And this is decades ago because I'm ageless. And he said, oh, so then I taught the same course. I went second worst ratings to second highest ratings. So it was one of those life lessons that I will always be grateful to him, and to demonstrate that you can grow and expand, and that's supposed to do. You never give up. You try something. If you fail, you try it again, taking in all the feedback instead of getting defensive. That was a tough one. So I ended up coming back here teaching at Antioch University, and then Claremont, then 6 years at Anderson Business School, the Anderson Graduate School of Management at UCLA. So that was my 10 years.
Wow. Well, see, that's where it started. I believe my first class was marketing, and it was where I just graduated with my master's in organizational leadership. And, I had a hard time. The kids really liked me, but I was just so nervous to do it. And then I went to work for Junior Achievement and really got into teaching in K through 12. And then I started again. I again started again, and I started at NLU and Benedictine. And it's but that shows resilience, right? You didn't give up. And I say this too. I said this to my students yesterday. And just because maybe the first time you fail, or the second time, or the third time, or the fourth time, doesn't mean you're not resilient. It doesn't mean that you're not, maybe you don't achieve your goal for a while, but the whole purpose is to really just get back in there and work at it, and don't give up on yourself. And maybe sometimes something is not for us, and then we switch gears to something else, and that's fine too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. People ask me how I got into media, and it was because of that class at UCLA. I was teaching managerial interpersonal communication, was one of the 3 courses, and I had a student come up to me after class and say, you're in the wrong place, because you're way too animated and you're way too like motivational or whatever. Have you ever thought of media? And I'm like, well, he likened me to Rob Williams in Dead Poets Society, when he was a teacher, or whatever that movie was. And he said, my father's a producer, and he's always looking for interesting people who can do commentary on weird. So that was how I got my start in TV. That's why people do weird things at work and totally out of control. People, ABC, Discovery, and all of that. So that's a story. But to balance out, even though I did much better teaching, I was nervous too, and that led to a lot of that. I had one student, and I hate remembering, but I do it on purpose to illustrate you that I don't always get compliments. He said, I'd rather chew glass than listen to another one of Dr. Pay's lectures. And it was just this perfect thing. And now that's the one insult in 99 compliments. I had 99 people, or more, 9%. And I use that example because I can ruin my life by only remembering comment without remembering all the positive things. And I'm going to segue this, because both the things you're talking about, being nervous at first, or, trying again, and me, focusing on the 99 versus the 1, when it comes to diet and exercise, when it comes to how we feel about ourselves, we always have a choice. I can say, like this morning, I was not happy. I got on the scale, and I had lost 27 pounds since Valentine's Day. Since Valentine's Day, I put on 7 pounds because 5 pounds were tarts, in Canada, where I just came back from,
Always when you go home, of
and I gained
course.
2 pounds before I had left. I'm just discouraged, but I have to remember that I did lose, net 20 pounds. I did it, and I can do it again. That's one balance. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm just going to get back on the treadmill, literally, even though it's not a treadmill, and know that I will probably always have an opportunity to work on this thing called my body size and my body image. Also knowing that I have to be happy where I am, or I can move from where I am to where I want to go. So that is my truth around my body. I'll add one more thing, and then I want to hear your truth. You did speak of it, is why I wanted to do this, because you were honest about your middle section and the girth. The thing is, I modeled for 8 years, and I was very thin, and I have pictures to prove it, and looked really good. And it's true what they say: you don't appreciate your body until you don't have that body. And I have mixed feelings about having to pick pictures up, because sometimes people will look at and go, "Is that you?" Like, that's like way too unbelievable. That was your body, and I get pissed. But it's almost a goal that I forget to, because I'm not that age and I'm not that shape. People say all the time, you've lived a full life and you should be happy with it. Don't look fat. And I just say I'm puffy, or all those things are wrapped up into this. How $1 billion industry did you say it was?
$1 billion industry. Yeah.
$1 industry,
Yeah.
where we're not happy with the body size. And I was talking to my bonus my dad last night, and they said, maybe this is the size that you're supposed to be. Maybe this is, that goal of trying to be your model weight, plus 10. I was giving myself 10. Is really unrealistic. It's maybe something that you should just give up. So that's where I sit right now. Oh, and then the other reason why I wanted to do this topic, because I'm trying to get rid of specific areas of my body. I didn't even know there was a thing called back fat, belly fat, inner thigh fat, and underarm fat, and double chin fat. So those are all the areas that would be much easier to do a tummy tuck or get it done surgically. But I think that's cheating. And so I think that's my talk for the topic. And now I give to you. What's your real talk?
Gosh, there's so much to say with what you just said on that topic. First of all, I want to say, and not to put marketers down, or advertising, or consumers for that matter, but you look at our economy, it's perpetuated on us wanting things, wanting to be things, wanting to do things, wanting to have things. Okay. So as a marketing person my entire life, I understand that. But the thing is, the more we hear about what we should be, the less happy we are with who we are. So, to give you a little bit of my story, I was very, very skinny as a child. Okay. Skinny, very skinny. And I used to get really teased about, like, oh my God, you're so skinny, just as bad as if you were, overweight. Okay. I wore that shame. Okay. And I got older, and, into my teen years, and, I still had trouble gaining weight. I was fine. I had a shape per se. Right. But, and, I was popular in a lot of ways, but it wasn't all right with me. I never felt right about it. But then when I got into my 20s, right, you start to gain a little weight, you go to college, you gain some of those pounds. So I will say to you that by the time I was probably 30, or, maybe 35 for sure, until I was 35, I was a size 2. Okay. And, so I was really tiny. But then, I had my kids, and, my youngest son, and I had a baby in between, and she was stillbirth. But, just that weight came on later in my 30s and never left. So I can say this. every 5 to 10 years, I can count when I look at my doctor's records, I've lost anywhere from 10 to 25 pounds over, down and up, down and up. What I've learned at this stage, and I'm talking about this because I am going to go for a medically supervised kind of weight loss again, because what I found out about 10 years ago was that I have thyroid issues, And even if you don't per se have thyroid issues, I'm coming to understand that your body, because almost everyone that takes off weight puts it back on, everyone that I've ever known. Okay. So I don't think it's that you fall into necessarily bad habits again. I was on keto. I lost, 27 pounds, and I kept it off for 3 years, and then I didn't change anything, and I started gaining again. I think our bodies, there is it would really behoove us to kind of look that up, because I think there really is a hormone thing and with fat, and once your cells are at that level, they go back and then some. That's my belief, and I'm not going to pretend that I've researched it enough, but I do believe that. But this is the thing I want to say that I said in my book, is that at this stage of life, we really need to take a new picture, okay? And I struggle with it myself. I'm not saying do what I do. I'm perfect at this. I'm not. I struggle with it myself. But we need to look realistically, okay? But still find the love for ourselves. Maybe and probably if we care about our weight and we're 50, 40, 50, 60 beyond, then maybe it has to be a work in progress, like everything else at this stage of life. So you go down, you come up, right? Your body gains the weight back, get back on the wagon, start exercising, be healthy, because it's not only for aesthetics at this stage, it's for health. I have, my back bothers me now and never used to. And I was this woman that wore stiletto heels. I could exercise in them, right? But when you gain the extra weight, it's hard, and you're older to boot, right? So that's been my struggle. And I will tell you too, very honestly, Dr. Marissa and everyone else, I haven't ruled out plastic surgery. I haven't ruled out liposuction or tummy tuck. I don't have judgment about that with women who do it, because my whole idea is that, what makes you happy is what is important. As long as you're not hurting yourself, literally, as long as you're healthy enough to do something like that, and you're not hurting anybody else, then who should be the judge of that? If it makes you happy, if it makes you feel better about you, lose the weight and get the tummy tuck, right? But it's inevitable, right? We're gonna age, but I look at my mother and your mother too. I'm sure, she lived to be 90. She looks great. Her skin was beautiful naturally, and she always watched her weight. Now she went up. She in her later years, she went up really high because she just changed her ways, and older age set in. But I just feel like if we look at our country, if we look at the West, the average size woman today is a size 16. Okay. Now, that's not even a woman of our age. That's any woman in our society. Okay. So again, we have to stop. And part of my book is about that. We have to stop looking into the past and what our ideals were back then. It was a different day for sure. Right. And we were a lot younger, and we could do those things. It was easier, literally easier to do those things because our bodies cooperated a little bit more. So that's my feel on it. I really, that's what I feel on it.
Great. So just went to look it up. The cold truth about diet industry in America, it's actually multi-billion. Americans are dieting at the highest rate in history. 20 to 20% of American men, 33 to 40% of American women are actively dieting to lose weight. 57% of U.S. women are now dieting, according to a national telephone survey. Diet industry is multi-billion-dollar industry. Tripled its gross annual income to approximately $60 billion. Girls who diet free are 12 times as likely to binge as girls who don't diet. Um, over one half of teenage girls and nearly one third of teenage boys use unhealthy control behavior, skipping meals, fasting, smoking cigarettes, vomiting, and taking laxatives. So we're talking about this just in time. This is Real Talk with Dr. Marissa. Colette Tracy. See if you've just in on my advice. I'm not using a balance with Dr. Marissa and
Colette Tracy.
And we are talking about diet and exercise. If you're driving, please don't do this. But if you're just tuning in, like to chat in on this conversation, I'm streaming live on LinkedIn now, Facebook, and my YouTube channel. The link is in my link tree bio if you want to click. So thank you for being honest about what you have gone through in it. And I guess you all have that. Wow, I can't believe I used to be super thin, just like when I was modeling. We were a kid, and what happened. And you know, I am always. I'm glad you bring up that size 16 because you know, I think that people think that a size 2 is the the goal, the whatever. But the truth is, I think I read that a size 12 or 14 is the desired or the optimum size for the average woman.
Yeah.
Not 16 is a little high. I think the BMI or whatever they use to measure obesity and overweightness. I know I measured at overweight or an obese at the beginning of this my last up and down journey. And speaking of your up and down, I think I've lost like 1,000 pounds in my lifetime because it's that up and down and up and down, up and down. And my pet peeves is the women that tell you how to lose weight or tell you how to exercise are in their 20s.
Exactly. And it's all relevant, and the thing is, like you had said, God, I can't believe I was that thin at one time. Well, guess what? You and I both, I can bet you dollars to donuts that we both see ourselves that way still. And so that's why when you get bigger, it's like, oh my God. I mean, because that idea, because really more than half my life was spent teeny tiny. Okay. So yeah, it's like you look at that, you believe it or not, you do look at that when you're looking at yourself in the mirror or you're, God forbid, getting on the scale, so yeah.
I did one of the suggestions that I took from one of the diet exercise people was to throw out your scale at one point, and it's likened to, I just did this funny, I'm going to post it up here. I want everyone to weigh in on diet and exercise. I went to a program that said the only thing you can't do is diet. So do not diet. You're not allowed to diet. You're not allowed to shit on yourself, don't on the scale. I promptly gained 10 pounds. So for me, I cannot not do anything. For me, I'm highly achievement oriented. And so it works for me to, look at where I am, as long as I balance that with it's not about the weight. I am more than my weight. I am more than how my body looks. I'm a whole person, imperfect, and fabulous 8% of the time. And if I can get my attention off of my weight only, because I tend to criticize the way I look, and I you say, people say, oh, you look great. I said, because I have clothes on. I took my clothes off, you'd be running off with your hair on fire, skiing, which is not nice to say about myself. I half jokingly say it, but when I look in the mirror, it ain't pretty. I don't like what I see. And so I think the balance here is, if you don't like what you see, do something about it, but then don't get obsessed about that.
Yeah.
that is the only measure of your worth. It's hard.
And
It's hard.
it is. Yeah. And the thing that I would say too, Dr. Marissa, is look at your body and find the things you like about it. Um, find what is good for you, what's acceptable, what part of your body or parts of your body do you feel good about? And take a realistic look at what you can change, okay, and what you can't. I think the great thing about being alive today is that we have younger women role models for a curvier, right, type of figure. Okay. And so we never had that in our generation. It was like, Shelley Long, 6 feet and size 1, size 0, whatever. That was what we looked at, every day was that body type. So sometimes I don't think we all even realize how ingrained that is in us of our age. And I think for women, that's one of the reasons that aging is difficult, because we feel like we are giving up so much. And in some instances we are, right? There's loss, there's things that happen. But you and I know that you really, okay, you can get in that, stay a day, a 2, 3, don't let yourself stay in it forever, but then get back to the positive sides of your life that you love and yourself physically that you love.
And that is definitely that solution part where we talked about, we used it for my teaching experience with 99 compliments and one horrific insult, is the same principle. Look at the 99 things that you love at your body, starting with the fact that you don't have to tell it to process food. It does that. You don't have to tell it to grow hair. It does that. And, there's not at least 99 things you can appreciate about what your body can do, versus focus on one area of tummy, flab, whatever. And the other solution that I want to absolutely emphasize is no one size fits all. Pun intended. Actually, that was intended. It was intended that there, whatever works for you to feel better. And you mentioned that earlier, Colette. I love the fact that we are 7.5 billion unique, one of a kind, wonderful, and there's a product in this for every single one of us that may not be for everybody. So whatever works for you, that's what you do. But what's interesting is when I was Googling, spot trimming exercise for all those troublesome areas, there were millions of views to the ones that said, 3 minutes to eliminating back flab, or 6 minutes to, and this industry, that the craziness of our, rich, quick, thin, quick, do this in, 3 days or 1 week. And again, going back to your original point, that's our industry. We are susceptible to unrealistic promises, where losing weight is a longer term thing, and it is keeping it off, and most important, being balanced about where you are. I think that is the fundamental. If you hate yourself, if you say, I'll be happy when I'm this size, or I'll be happy when I'm this weight, you're going to be in trouble, because even if you get that weight, I don't know anybody who then says, okay, I'm really happy right now, I'm gonna I don't. Or if you stop and then you gain weight again, or you go, well, what another 10 months, or what about, it's like plastic surgery, those people that you see where it's just, are you not looking in the mirror? There's that easy way to tip over into the obsessive. So you don't want to go there. And then you also don't want to go where lost 7 pounds, I put back on 7, I give up. I can't do this. I might as well resign myself to, being weight the rest of my life, and I feel like crap, and I'm not going to date, and I'm not going naked anywhere. I'm not going to put a bathing suit on. I'm just going to go. pull the covers over my head and sit and eat bonbons in bed like that. Also,
Mhm.
another
That's the
extreme
other extreme.
help,
I get that. I
right?
do get that. Yeah, I get that. Because I think in that way, you and I are very alike as far as being focused and obsessive on things. When it has our attention, man, we really laser focus. But I think too, you got to look at it this way. There's a saying once, and I won't say the swear word on the air, but it said when you get to be 50, you have to or over, you have to make a decision. You either want it to be you either going to have your face look good or you're going to have your rear end look good. And the reason that I'm telling you because I've lost a lot of weight in my face over the last few years, and I'm glad because I always had like a very cherub kind of face. But a lot of times when you lose weight, and it doesn't matter, you can even younger women I've seen, the face starts to sink. You don't look healthy. It shows more. If you get too thin, it'll show up in your face. I
Mm-hmm.
think you kind of have to keep that in mind too. You're a whole package. And I just think we have to take care with ourselves the way we did everyone else our whole lives, right? Our children, our family, our pets. We have to take care of ourselves that way, and just say, hey, I'm being patient with myself. Some days are really hard, some days are great. It just depends. As long as you don't stay in that negativity all the time, because that's difficult to live with, very difficult to live with.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you've just in and you're wondering who you're listening to, it is the every other week series called Real Talk with Colette Tracy and Dr. Marissa. Real Women Talk. I'm mixed up with Straight Talk on those days, but Real Women, and we are talking really about diet and exercise, and we are weighing in on concepts and belief systems, BS, belief systems and solution on how to feel better about our weight, our body size, our body image. On Take My Advice, I'm not using it. We'll be right back with more myths about weight loss and spot trimming and all kinds of fun things like that when we return on Take My Advice. I'm not using it.
Mhm.
Balance, Dr. Marissa and
Colette Tracy.
here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. One of the things that many of us grew up with is being told, don't be selfish. That has led many of us to sacrifice our entire lives to helping other people without helping ourselves. So today's Mental Health Minute is going to re-examine selfishness. Because when we are caring about ourselves, putting ourselves first, then we are more likely to be like that announcement in the airplane. If we use our oxygen first, we are much better at helping others after that. If we don't, we deplete ourselves to the point of no return. So if you're an overachiever and you're running around doing this, doing that, doing this, and ending up in doo-doo, you might want to learn how to be a little more selfish and learn how to take care of yourself and be just a little more selfish. This is Dr. Marissa with your Mental Health Minute, hoping that you have the best day ever.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in. Take my advice. I'm using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa and
Colette Tracy.
Here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iRadio, Spotify, Feister, and my YouTube channel, though, that houses all 789 shows. But who's counting? It is 9.5 years of this show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no keywords. No Kardashians at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your reality show and how you can be happy 80% of the time. And if you would like some free happy tips as well as a time to talk about what to do post-pandemic to raise your happiness level, or writing a book, or starting up a podcast, and come zoom in this Friday, every last Friday of the month, to my Get Happy Hour. And that's free for you. End up at Dr. Marissa Life. That is coming up this Friday. And if you have plans this weekend, you're an educator, then you want to go to steamcalifornia.org. Those of you who missed my fabulous guest yesterday, actually, he's more than a magician, but he's a championship magician who's taken his craft, and now it's called Impossible Science. And he completely blew my mind yesterday with some not tricks, but education, and he's taking it. So he helped him put it on the map during the pandemic to help kids interested and fascinated and want a career in science. So he's on stage keynote first thing at the symposium at the Anaheim Convention Center. I am a return keynote. Rarely do they have someone back. I get to do balanced Tai Chi Gong, my Chinese yoga, on stage on Sunday morning. So if you're an educator, please do go to steamcalifornia.org, register, and see you there. And if you have my book from last year, bring it, and we'll set it for you. All right, and that's it for the commercials. You are tuned into Real Women Talk with Dr. Marissa and Colette Tracy. She's the author of Both Sides Now. Where can people get your book, by the way?
They can get it at Barnes & Noble. They can get it at Amazon. In the Chicago area is Barbara's Bookstores, and also online, IndieBound. Thank you.
Give me a 20-second commercial on what that book will help you with.
Well, I think a lot of our topics, obviously, or maybe not obviously, that we're speaking about, they're near and dear to my heart. And I think that many women, most women, I would venture to say, our age, I've done some workshops, I've created classes around the book. These things are on their minds. Okay, so it's really about what we talk about, making the best of this time of life, even though, there can be many losses, and life gets difficult. Okay, life is always difficult. There's just a different set of challenges that we talk about because of our generation, how we were raised, how we have difficulty making this transition because of the way we were cultured. So, but there's a lot of, talking about changing your mind, changing your mindset, changing your life, those kinds of things. So thank you. Yeah.
Great. And I'm going to just one thing. Life is difficult. It's kind of like life sucks as a BS belief system that I absolutely prescribe to. And you're not making that way. Mm-hmm. But I want people to understand that we are so for life being 88% not difficult. But you can make difficult by only focusing on the 12% of how it's difficult, instead of looking at it as an opportunity to get to more happiness, which we're aligned with. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I get that.
Is a frame.
Yeah, I mean, saying that life is difficult, that's kind of a negativity. That's bringing a negativity in and of itself. But it's also, like I say, I agree with your 88% all the way, but it's also about understanding what life is, kind of not like blindfolding ourselves or saying, we have blinders on. It's not that you need to focus on it. You don't, and you shouldn't. And you need to go through things and process them as you need to as a human being. But, take a look at life from a different lens and you will be happier. Try to consciously make an adjustment. And that's what sometimes I think is hard, because we never really felt like we had to do that being younger, right? You get to a certain age, and then you feel like you have to do it, but it's good. It's a good thing, and that's what the book is about too.
Wonderful. So go and get that. I'm actually looking up because I promised we would talk about some myths around weight loss, and I found this. Our friends in England, they're very into research the radical 10 weight loss myths. One is a radical exercise regime is the only way to lose weight.
Yeah.
Not true. Successful weight involves making small changes that you can stay for a long time. And I know for me, what worked in this latest loss is intermittent fasting, which you eat in an 8-hour window. And the reason why that worked for me is I would gain weight by eating. My schedule, I would eat late. And eating late's not good for your body because when you're sleeping, you are not digesting as much as when you're, moving and grooving during the day. Healthier are more expensive. That's not carbs make you weight. Eating in the right quantities is part of balanced diet. Carbohydrates will not, on their own, is without butter, creamy sauces, and so on added to them, lead to weight. And I think that is key too. I cut 88% of white flour out, which helped me as well, and it allowed me. My biggest enemy for weight loss is my all or nothing thinking or all or nothing action, where it's like, I can't have any of this, or I can have all of it. That's why keto didn't work for me, because I took that, you can eat as much red meat, fatty pork chops you want, and so I did. And I gained for that too. Some foods speed up your metabolism, and that's not true. It says there's very little evidence of products having high levels of caffeine and sugar being to help you weight loss. All slim pills are safe to use for weight loss. No, the number. Let's see, the number of prescribed best medicines available. There are unscribed, unlike weight loss products on the market, which may contain ingredients that are harmful to health. Now, you said you were going to go to your doctor for that medical. So, does that also include appetite suppressants?
I'm not doing that. You could. Some people are qualified for, but no. This is actually a protein like shake type thing. You could do that. You could do mostly the shakes. You could do all the shakes, or do a little bit of shakes, a little bit of special diet. Low carb, obviously vegetable protein. I'm really not going to do very few shakes. I'm going to do the powdered, so I can make them myself when I'm just in a hurry. But I really, really want to relearn, right, the best way of eating to get my weight jump started again.
Right.
So yeah, when I did keto on my own, and I'd never lost weight like that without exercising like a mad woman, or doing something on my own. Usually I follow a program, and it was great, but it stopped working. So I think I had to put a little bit of the macro carbs back in, and not knowing, so they have dietitians working with you. They accept your insurance. I mean, there's some money out of pocket, but it's pretty good deal.
Yeah. Great. So we only have a few minutes left. I wanted to look at this because this was the real reason why I wanted to talk about the topic, was to look at the idea of spot trimming, because I saw all those videos, fat, all that. So let's take a quick look at that. I love doing research while we're on the air. This is called Your Weighters. Say about spot trimming, spot reduction. Simple idea: you can exercise to lose weight in certain areas or increase muscle definition. Many of us have become accustomed to the idea of spot training because we want to be true. Want it to. We all have certain areas of the body that leave us feeling more selfish than others. However, it's a myth. No pain, no gain. No, go hard or go home, like those myths as well. It does very little to improve our body on the journey with weight health. The science behind this is simple. We can't the body's where to lose weight. Darn. So we're genetically predisposed to store fat in certain areas. I don't that
That's
well.
what and that's probably why we gain that weight right back.
Yeah. So they balance, of course, because I'm all about balance, right? Exercise program, specific plan, ensure a healthy diet, vary your routine, drink plenty of water. Okay, so I'm there's all parts of me that don't want to believe that, because I have been doing those 3 minute, 5 minute, 7 minute. We all do it just to prove it wrong. But I do believe that toning, people say, that is one way to lose inches, right? So I will get that. So last word on weighing in diet and exercise.
Well, I want to say, we're all in this together for sure. And I think the more community we can have around it, the better. That's why I feel like these workshops work so well for so many people because of that. I do want to say one more thing, please, before I go. I am starting my PhD. And speaking of community, it's in community psychology. And I actually start tomorrow at National Louis University. Very excited. So thank you for letting me share that.
Of course. And you do know that PHH stands for piled higher and deeper.
Okay, yeah.
But I am happy for you as a fellow PhD. It's wonderful that I just assumed you had it already.
No,
I thought you had
I have 3 master's degrees, nearly 3 masters. I'm just finishing my MBA, but I've been talking about the PhD for a long time. I thought about it like 10 years ago with National Louis. I didn't feel I was ready at the time.
Well, that's wonderful.
So,
my final word is love yourself inside and out. Focus on the 88% that works and not on the 12% that you don't like. This is Dr. Marissa with Colette Tracy. Real women every Wednesday. Actually, this is a bonus. This one next Wednesday we will be talking again, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
For first and third Wednesdays. Thanks for joining in. It's all about balance. Peace.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dr. Marissa.
World peace through inner peace. Now forth and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow with Talk with Sam Works and Dr. Marissa.